Did you guys know that Chuck Norris invented the Manosphere? Well, according to Hollywood Reporter, look right there. They said it is. Apparently he did. What's cooking, my rock and rollers? Today we're going to be talking about an article I found, which is very interesting to say the least. It is from the Hollywood Reporter, and here's the title. I already said it in the beginning, but here it is again. How Chuck Norris helped create the Manosphere. Really? Are we really doing this? Apparently we are. The action hero shaped an ethos of The action hero shaped an ethos of enthusiastic audience involvement and often aggrieved righteousness that is felt everywhere in 2026. Ooh, this is gonna be an interesting article, huh? Okay, let's just go down. I wanted to talk about it. Let's just go down. Here we go. So, article says, in 2010, I visited Asheville, I think that's how you pronounce it, North Carolina, to cover an inaugural, I think that's how you pronounce it. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong, but film event called Action Fest, inspired by Chuck Norris and co-founded by his brother Aaron. For 3 days in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, audiences turned out to see movies Chuck Norris was in, movies Chuck Norris liked, and movies that, as far as I could tell, had nothing to do with Chuck Norris, but made the people spew Chuck Norris facts anyway. Having just turned 70 and endured more above the neck roundhouses than a human head was built to endure, the real Chuck Norris, or Norris is what they say, was slowing down and not a major presence at the festival. The people lining up for all-day passes didn't care. To them, Norris wasn't a personality, he was an idea. And this was an event designed to celebrate that idea. Okay, so far so good. Let's continue. Norris died last week at 86, mostly obituaries, cited his long career. In fact, it was unspooled in 3 acts, each of which would have been impressive on its own. First came martial arts. Norris held black belts in karate, taekwondo, Tang Soo Do, I think that's how you pronounce it, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and Judo, and won a slew of matches beginning in the 1960s in the process of catching the eye of Bruce Lee and Steve McQueen. Then all those 80s action movies like The Missing in Action, Delta Force, Lone Wolf McQuade, that embodied that era, and finally Walk a Texas Ranger in the 1990s and early 2000s. Let's go down. Yeah, okay. That last one was sneakily influential. To many critics, the show was a pulp oddity, the late middle age act of a star they didn't think about much in the first place. But Walker was a commercial powerhouse, a 9-season machine that spawned a film, scores, DVD sales, syndication on every other cable network and streaming platform, and broadcast deals in more than 100 countries. More important, it showed that you didn't need to dominate the water cooler to be popular. At a time when people hashed out, ER, The Sopranos, Walker Texas Rangers was seen globally by tens of millions of more people and inspired a lot more hero worship. Again, so far so good. That alone, here we go. That alone would have been a legacy far greater than lack of, in parentheses, critical appreciations we've seen since his death. But there was actually a 4th act, and it shaped an era that only intensifies today. It starts with those Chuck Norris facts. Oh, here we go. The hyperbolic claims about his strength. When he left home, Chuck Norris told his father, "You're the man of the house now." Chuck Norris is so tough, the dark is afraid of him, are funny in their own right, but they were a lot more than that. They're often referred to as some of the first memes, given how their mid-2000s popularity predated so much of social media. They were exactly that. The facts hinted at a new kind of cultural participation that hadn't happened in the century of film, comic books, and later television that preceded them. No longer were icons crafted and handed to us for worship and monetization. Now we can make them what we want, exaggerate legends, mock their power, create their own mini satires in which these personalities were really just inadvertent players. The gatekeepers had been handing us sculptures, now we were demanding raw clay. Okay, well, we both know this is going. We don't know this is going, so one more tiny paragraph. No one could ever figure out where all these facts began. Conan O'Brien, SNL, the author, and Chuck Norris expert Ian Spector. But that only underscored their grassrootiness. That's a word. Okay, so far we've seen where it's going. Let's continue. Let's see. That this kind of inclusion was happening specifically via Chuck Norris was in fact no accident. After all, the actor had already cast exactly... Sorry about that, guys. After all, the actor had already cast exactly that kind of net with his work. Norris made a lot of people feel like they belonged in a movie theater who never been there before. His films were massive hits with demos who never seen an Oscar winner or studio commentary. Oh, I can... With just that one sentence, you can kind of tell the angle this person is going at. Upper class, elitist, liberal, leftist. You can already tell. And he made people feel like they were making the movie with him, as it reenacted his improbable fight scenes and swaggy dialogue in every schoolyard and bar stool in America. This was a star whose whole career was based on giving us a stake in the outcome. Chuck Norris, the man, starred in a lot of action movies, made a lot of people happy and money. Chuck Norris, the idea was far more complex and a powerful beast, a tool of cultural participation, seldom seen before. In fact, even how he came to be on screen in the first place had a convention bucking quality, not buckling. Norris was never supposed to be a major Hollywood star. It took a pair of Israeli outsider cousins from the B-movie outfit, the Cannon Group, to cast him and make all those movies hits. Alright, all those movies, it should be movie hits. Movies hits, whatever. One more example of power wrested from the gatekeepers, okay? Okay, we're almost done. So you're already starting to see, the cracks of where this author is coming from. Like this article, I might skip ahead, just my thoughts. It's not bad, but just like the title, Created the Manosphere, you already know what this author is going for. Like this whole, men rising up, not basically buying the bullshit, so to speak. Let's just say that, and they're butthurt. That's what it boils down to. So let's continue. Any dissection of Norris also needs to size up his effect on the culture of masculinity. Walker helped augur an ethos of aggrieved righteousness that would soon dominate everything from country music to Christian movies, and more toxically would forerun the Manosphere with his flouting of a perceived feminization of American society. Oh, there's that word, perceived feminization, which I don't really think it's perceived anymore. I think people can tell. Here's a quote. If I want your opinion, I'll beat it out of you, Norris would say on the show. It was a funny quip. It also traces a line straight to Andrew Tate. Oh, there it is. Oh. Really? Whoever wrote this article, let's go back. Whoever wrote this fucking article. Steven Zykich, whatever. Steven Zykich. Fuck you. Really? You watch a Chuck Norris movie and you hear him say some, badass one line and you instantly think, oh my god, Andrew Tate. Oh my god. How fucking pathetic are you, Steven? Really? That's directly to you. How fucking pathetic are you? God, I hate these people. And people say it before, and they always have said it, and it's so true today. You cannot hate journalists in the media enough. They took a man's death and tied it to Andrew Tate. Wow. We really have seen it all. Okay, there's just a little bit left. So, alright, there's a small paragraphs left. So, through this lens, so it was a funny quip, but also traces the landmark to Andrew Tate. Through this lens, then, the year 2026 hardly seems possible without Norris. He both encouraged all of us to contribute culturally, and then suggested the kind of chippy masculinity that might compromise those contributions. What? In recent years, it's been easy to forget just how foreign some of those concepts were until Chuck Norris came along, but his death had stirred some reminders. As it inevitably must. In his movies, Chuck Norris was neglected, derated, marginalized, but he always had the last kill. Oh, we see what you're doing. Oh my god, they're basically painting Chuck Norris. Hey, I'm sorry, I'm pausing. I'm just kind of getting a thought. Are they saying Chuck Norris was an incel? Like, is that what they're saying? Or am I just reading that wrong? So, in his movies, Chuck Norris was neglected, derated, and marginalized, but he always had the last kill. Okay, maybe I cannot be the only one that thinks they're calling him an incel. Because for years now, young men are marginalized, they're neglected, they're incels, like, they're just straight up calling Chuck Norris an incel. Oh my. Yo, fuck these journalists, dude. Oh my god. So, alright, let's think about this real quick. Because Chuck Norris was, masculine, he starred in movies, he, basically didn't show emotion, let's be honest, in his movies. They tied that to Andrew Tate and called him an incel. Like, we really have seen it all, folks. This is also like, what was that? Was it a Variety article that came out shortly after? I think it was on the same day they announced his death, where it was like, will Chuck Norris's politics, what was it? Will Chuck Norris's politics like overshadow his movies? And everyone's like, and I'm so glad everyone in the comments was just like, what? Like, no one, when people think of Chuck Norris, nobody thinks of his politics. No one does. They think of awesome movies and martial arts like that. No, not one fucking fan or even person thinks, oh my god, he was on the conservative side. No normal person thinks that. Well, I'll say normal except these fuckers, but they're not normal, so I just can't believe, because I pre-read the article before this video came out, but I did not read that last paragraph. I waited until recording, but I mean, I'm reading it right now. In his movies, Chuck Norris was neglected, derated, marginalized, but he always had the last kill. So they're basically saying he was an incel, but he always got the last kill. So are they saying young men are gonna get the last, like, hurrah? Is that what they're saying? Ah, whatever. Fuck this. What was that Steven dude who wrote this? Yeah, fuck him. Yeah. Oh my god. I said it before, but oh my god, I really seen it all. I did not expect. Like, who would have thought a death of an icon like this? And well, I guess I shouldn't say who would have thought, because with this whole, like, the Manosphere documentary just came out recently on Netflix, which is, again, stupid. It all ties back to, like, this whole thing. This is boiling it down. This is the last point I'll say. I'm starting to ramble, but it boils down to, it has nothing to do with Chuck Norris. It has nothing to do with him. It had nothing to do with Andrew Tate. Nothing. The main thing is young men, well, young people, but especially young men, are waking up. Like, they're not being pushed around. They don't want to be talked down to, and they're tired of it, and they're pushing back. I don't want to say physically, but they're not going to see all the the woke Hollywood stuff, or they're not participating in society. Yeah, they're just like, okay, you don't want us? Okay, we'll just do something else. Go over here, go over there, just stay at home. All right, that's all this is about. They're mad that young men aren't buying their bullshit. That's all it is. That's all this boils down to. And here, they're using the death of a hero, an icon to a lot of people, to basically shame them even more. Like, oh, see, you guys, well. Oh god, just look at this. How Chuck Norris helped create the Manosphere. I have no idea how to end this video except fuck the mainstream media. One last thing. This would be like the last part of the video. Am I wrong? Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. That last part, you know, that last quote, I've said it again. You know, Norris was neglected, degraded, marginalized, but he always had the last kill. They're calling him an incel, right? Correct me in the comments below if I'm wrong. That's where I'll end this video on. Like and subscribe and comment if you think it's real. If they're not, maybe I'm just reading this wrong and this whole video is just pointless and I'll look back and think I'm an idiot, which it could possibly be, but I don't think I am. Given the state of like mainstream media and how journalists are, I think this, you know, this comment right here and this article is accurate. I could be wrong though, so comment below and tell me your thoughts.